Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This one is the Sagola Mini Xtreme. Now I've had this for about 6 months, but I actually bought them in Spain and it's been a little bit more difficult than usual to get them back over here because the UK is not in the EU anymore, so there's not free movement of goods. Anyway, I'll cut a long story short, I've got them back now. And I thought I'd give them a quick run through with you guys. So these were bought in Spain. It comes with a 500 milliliter cup over there, which is what you see there. And I know sometimes in the UK and in some other parts of the EU, they come with a 125 milliliter pot. So you can get a smaller pot for them. But I find the 500 ml pot, as you see in the picture there, is actually very good. And it doesn't seem too big, although it holds 500 ml. Now I'm looking at the caps. This is the base version, but they also do a clear version. Now I've got both. I've got the clear and I got the base coat version. This is just about the base coat version, but I'm comparing the two caps there, and apart from the colour, I really can see no difference at all. The size of the holes are the same, the amount of air holes are the same, everything's exactly the same apart from the anodizing on the cap. One's obviously blue and one's red for clear and blue for well, they used to call it Aqua, but I don't think they do now, but yeah, I think they still do actually. Aqua, meaning it's a base coat gun. Now I'm just comparing it here to the ANI R150 and the AZ4 Iwata, simply because I had a few people, as I say, I've had these guns for about 6 months, but it was a matter of getting them over here to sort of like test properly. But when I first got them, I put them on Instagram, on my Instagram account, and a few people come up with saying that, oh, they're good guns, but they're quite big, aren't they? And they're not really that big. So I'd done a picture on Instagram of the ANI R150 or R160, the SRI Pro Light, and the Sagola Xtreme next to each other so that people could see the size, and it really isn't that big. And that's the only reason for including that bit there in the footage, was just to show you that it's not big. Some people obviously get the idea it's big, and I'm not quite sure where they got that from, but it's not that big. So it's a sort of like a standard size minigun really. So I really like the gun. I've had quite an opportunity to use them. And I've used both the base coat and the clear coat gun. I've used the base coat for clear and for base, and vice versa as well. And I really can't tell any difference between the two. I will do a video of the clear coat gun, or in a clear coat setup anyway. But as I say, I can't really see any difference between the two. Everything else looks exactly the same. The needle, the tip, is purely the colour of the cap, I think. But it works very well for both anyway. One of the downsides I will say about this gun, and I really like Sagola, most of their stuff I've got, or in fact all their stuff I've got I really like, but it uses a hell of a lot of air for a minigun. Now I've got no way of telling the actual consumption of these guns other than to use a compressor, let it build up to full capacities, turn itself off, and then run the gun, just the gun on its own, until the compressor turns back on again. And because it's an automatic switch, once it gets to a certain pressure, the compressor cuts in. Then obviously it's the same amount each time, so it's a good gauge of what amount of air that the gun uses. And an SRI Pro Light, which is quite an average gun, or the Pro Light S as it's now called, the DeVille bit, it's quite an average gun, that uses it lasts on my particular setup for about 1 minute 10 seconds, and this gun went through the capacity of the air until it switched back on again in 35 seconds. So it's like over twice the amount of air. It's not as much as air as a full-size gun, but it's a little bit disappointing in that one of the reasons you get a minigun normally is that it uses less air. So if you're a guy at home with limited compressor, then you can still get some stuff done and be able to function at home without too big a compressor. So it takes a little bit of that away, which is probably for me the biggest downfall of the gun. the rest of it, as I say, the build quality is exceptional, as with all the Sagola stuff I've used and seen. It's, it's a very, very good gun, but that air consumption is a bit of a negative, and if you are at home with a limited supply, it's quite a big negative, I would say. The other negative is these things are getting more expensive since they were bought out by, I think it's the Altometer, which is a UK company. They bought them out and they put the prices up of everything, basically. Now, as I say, I got them in Spain, and the exchange rate was quite reasonable at the time. It was 120 to the 119, I think, which is about what it is at the moment. It's only like this 119 euros to the GB pound. But I paid about 165 GB pound for them, which is just over 200 euros basically. So I thought I got a bit of a bargain, and I have got a bit of a bargain, but unless you can go to Spain and get one, then you won't get such a bargain. So I do bear in mind that they're a little bit more pricey than some of the other mini guns. ANIR 150, AZ4 are good examples that you saw at the start of the video. So what's the gun like? It really lays the clear and the bass down very, very well. It's a bit more noisy than some of the other guns, and I think that's just because of the air consumption. But I really enjoyed using it and really rate it highly. It's probably not the highest rated minigun, I wouldn't think. It's like an SRI Pro Light, probably a good jack of all trades. So if you're thinking about something like this, then it's a good, as I say, jack of all trades. It will do most things very well. And if you're after one that will do bass and clear, it's an ideal gun, because, as I say, I can't see anything different about the caps apart from the colour. So it gives you a good all-round gun. Make sure you clean it properly after you've used it for bass, and then you can use it for clear afterwards. Not ideal, but obviously a lot of us are limited by funds, etc. So if you can only afford one gun, then it's a good gun to have. As I say, this is a 1.0 tip. I'll put the gun settings down there at the start, but all I did was I used 3 turns out for the first coat, and then put it to full fluid for the rest of the other 2 coats, effectively. And 4 turns out is full fluid. So once you get to 4, you can turn it more, but it's not actually bringing the needle back any further, so it's not putting any more fluid out. So it's because as I say, because it's a 1.0 tip, it's a relatively small fan. Nothing wrong in that. It's a good even fan pattern, and you'll see at the end, when we get to the end, as I say, it's only base coat, so it's not going to be super shiny or anything like that, but it gives a really nice account of itself. It's very, very flat. So where it fits in my particular range of guns, I don't know really. As I say, if you're after the best finish for a minigun, I think it's probably the DV1S, although it's a horrendous price. I mean, over here in the UK, they're about 370 quid, 380 quid even, so which is about $450. So you can get nearly 3 of these. If you're in Spain, you get nearly 3 of these for the same price as a DV1S. So this is just a drop coat, just to get the metallic to stand up a bit, and we'll see as I say, we'll see the results at the end. But it's a really, really cracking minigun. I really enjoyed using it, and I've had quite a bit of experience of using it, but I haven't been able to get it sort of like in my conditions in my workshop to test it and show it. But this is it. BMW C1P Galvanic Gold is the actual colour, and you can see it lays it down really, really nice. I really enjoyed using it. It's a bit slow. I mean, it's a 1.0, which makes it a bit slow anyway, but if you're doing stuff like this, you don't need loads out. 1.2 is better for clear, and I have got a 1.2, but I wanted to concentrate on the 1.0 because most of the stuff I do is 1.2 and 1.3 in the minigun. So I thought I'd give a smaller gun a chance, so that people that follow the channel and watch the stuff but want a smaller gun, for things like cycle frames and things like that, then they can follow this. Although, as I say, a big drawback is the air consumption. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you can see the results speak for themselves. It really lays it down nice. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.